back to the farm. It is frigid here today, and it has been for quite some time. I don't think we've gotten out of single digits most of the last 2 weeks, and if we did, it was only to get into the low teens. Friday night into Saturday, we got a couple inches of snow, not too bad. But I had to go to a master gardener on-site training about 45 miles from here. Figured I'd play it safe, and I took all main roads and the highway, thinking they'd all be really well cleared. And they were, until I got about 4 miles out from the venue, and I hit this patch of something on the highway and was headed straight for the ditch on the left-hand side. And I don't know what Michigan driving skills just reawoke in my brain, because I was doing S-curves up that road for probably a quarter mile, and my adrenaline was very high. So I took very slow back roads on the way home, which were fairly well maintained, but at least they weren't crowded and I wasn't going fast. So we are on our third cold weather advisory. So I decided today I just wasn't leaving the house, except I have to go outside to take care of the animals. And the snow and ice had built up so badly along the front of the rabbitry that I could not get that door shut, which is why you saw me out there with the crowbar and the hammer trying to pry all the built up snow and ice out of the door jamb, so I could close it properly and get it all shoveled out in front good so that the door will open and close well. So all the animals are doing fine. James has a little bit of frostbite at the tips of his comb, but that's pretty common for any chicken in these colder climates that has a comb. You'll see a lot of people in the north choose breeds of chicken that specifically don't have combs for exactly this purpose. But James is so beautiful, I can't take it away from him. Or I don't want to get rid of him. Like, I'm not going to cut his comb. Oh man. James is fine. We all love and protect James. He is perfect. This week looks to be fairly quiet. I'm adjusting to having the house to myself, and I think the cats are too, which is scaring the hell out of me, because I will hear heavy footsteps upstairs and think, who's upstairs? Morgan's not upstairs. After I initially go, oh, I wonder what Morgan's doing. Wait a minute, Morgan's not here. And it turns out it's the cats fighting for territory, because now there's this whole other room that they haven't had access to regularly, and so they're fighting for who gets to have the room. So today I'm just sitting home. I was going to do a project, and I don't want to, I'm cold. So I'm going to put that off for later in the week, and you obviously will be brought along to see that. My class yesterday was seed starting, which is always good for the mental health of a gardener to start thinking about seed starting. And I can starting seriously the beginning of March, and that relates to the project that I want to do this week. But I've got pottery class on Monday, I've got a church group on Tuesday, I have my Master Gardener class on Wednesday. I have open studio on Thursday. So Lord knows when I'm going to be able to squeeze something in. But come along and I will take you with me when we get to it. I'm back down in the basement. It's a couple of days later. The weather has been meh. It's snowing again. So we're stuck indoors, which I'm fine with. The cats are confused because I'm in the basement. She's just confusing. Gimli's around here somewhere too. But I'm finally getting around to that project I told you about. As you'll remember, I have my seed starting set up down here in the basement. Half of it has been co-opted for pottery. But the problem, and I knew about it last year and I've confirmed it this year, is I am very bad about remembering to water the plants that are down here. I don't come down here regularly, and when I do come down, I don't have a jug of water with me. And even with my reminders to water my houseplants, which I'm getting much better at, so my houseplants are living, I don't remember to come down here and take care of these. So my seed snail, oh wait, I'm going to take that back. Look, my seed snails are sprouting. So these are all my onions are coming up, and it looks like there's more over there. So all the more reason that I want to protect these and make sure that I keep them properly watered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them to where it's more convenient for me to water them and check them regularly. So I am going to move this entire rack up to the dining room. I don't use the dining room for anything else for the most part, except for holidays and chicken rearing time, which is coming. So I might as well put this rack on one of the walls, get it all set up, and be able to check it regularly. So that's the project. So let's get this cleared off and moved upstairs. Be wondering why, after everything I went through putting these shelves together 2 years ago now, last year, year and a half, I don't know, sometime in the not so distant past, I am now taking them apart. Well, there's two reasons. One, I'm down to just my two hands, and I can't carry this whole shelf upstairs by myself. And number two is I had two sets of these shelves, And when I put them together, I thought I wanted the shelves closer together so that the lights would be closer to the plants. Because when you're starting seedlings, you want the light very close to the seedlings so they don't get leggy. But I'm finding out, especially this year with the seed snails, that there's just not enough space to have bigger things. So if I got my tomatoes sprouted and growing, there's only so far that I could take them up on the shelves before they're going to run out of space. So I'm taking these apart to get them upstairs, but then I'm going to leave out one shelf, so it'll go back to being a 5-shelf unit, and space them more spread out so that I have more room to hang all of those lights and to be using all of those lights. It's not what I want to do. I don't necessarily like putting these shelves together, but I'm getting better at it, and it's the most effective way for me to get them up the stairs. Gimli is mad at me that I'm working on this and not paying attention to him, so every once in a while he comes around and beats me up. So he gave up as soon as I started talking to you, of course. So I'm almost done. I've just got to get these last 2 shelves off and then start hauling stuff up the stairs. Well, as always, that was a production, but it's done. And I've got 3 shelves lit and ready to go. Each shelf will hold about 2 of these trays. And the more I do in the seed snails, the more compact I can keep everything. Because I could fit another 4 snails on here. So I will definitely do that, and probably fairly soon. I am noticing these are the ones that were bigger than 6 inches. And I didn't think it would be an issue. It is definitely an issue. So if you're experimenting with this technique, do make sure that you cut them to the right size, because I'm going to have a real problem keeping these lit as they're growing out. The onions are okay because I can put them out in the greenhouse in a month or so. Even though it's still going to be fairly cold, the onions don't mind that so much. The more delicate stuff is not going to do as well. None of these, no, I take it back. I do have 2 little summer savory plants coming up. Stay out of there. And, this one, the parsley in the middle, you can see those are all coming up pretty darn well. Nothing else is really sprouted, but that's to be expected. These are all long germination seeds, so they are going to take longer. And obviously the onions, well, not obviously, I was surprised and overjoyed. The onions are actually doing really well. Onion seeds tend not to hold over year to year, so if you don't use them within a year of their date, their germination rate just tanks. So I really wasn't sure I was going to get anything out of these. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to get anywhere near enough, so I've got to order some seeds and do a couple more snails to get the right amount that I'm going to need. I think I did the math, and if I do 2 full beds, I'm going to need about 300 seedlings. I know that sounds ridiculous, but think about how many onions you go through in a season. We use a lot of onions, and then I'll have some for sale as well. And I may try and grow my own seed for varieties that I like. So those are going to sit here. They're on an automatic timer. To keep this monster out of it, I'm in my dining room, and I have the pocket doors. I've been keeping those pocket doors closed because it's been so cold. It's helped me regulate the heat in the rest of the house. And these guys aren't going to mind if it's a little on the cooler side, so I'm going to close that up and keep him out because he's a menace and he will destroy them, won't you? Yes, you will. The other thing I'm going to have in here, hopefully at the end of next month, I've got to get my order in, will be my chicks for the year. I'm not doing a lot this year. I need to replace the Bielefelders that we lost last year, and I'm going to add a couple of Copper Marans. And with the Copper Marans, I'm going to get a second rooster. I still don't know if any of those Americanas are roosters, but I'm getting a lot of blue and green eggs, so there's at least 5 or 6 hens in there. So I think adding one more rooster, especially with adding 6 to 7 more hens, should be okay. That's more than, even if there's one rooster out of those Americanas, that's still going to be 6 or so hens to each rooster, and so it should balance out. If not, I can always use more chicken stock. So that's it for that. The rest of the week, I'm not sure if I'll be back because we've got more bad weather coming. I have to run down to downstate to meet a friend of Morgan's who is going over to Germany to see him and has offered to take an extra suitcase with some of his stuff. So I've got to put together that and run downstate to drop it off to him. So that's going to take up most of my day on Saturday, and then I want to have this available for you on Sunday. So if I don't see you before then, have a wonderful week, and I hope you'll come back and see what we get up to next week. Good night, everybody.